Good morning, Flo.
Morning.
Want to start off with a couple injury updates, if I could. We haven't heard about a few weeks about Austin Jackson. One, I wanted to see how far along he is in his progression, if he's getting close. And two, you had a handful of guys banged up going into the bye that we saw, were limited out there Wednesday. Is there anybody that's further away than the others, in terms of potentially playing Sunday?
Really, to include Austin, everybody's, working to get back as quickly as they can. Obviously, we can't. Austin's on injury reserve, so. But he's doing a good job in rehab and treatment and doing everything he can to get back. We did have some guys who were banged up last week. Some practiced more than others yesterday, as you saw on the injury report. So, but everyone's got a shot to play, I would say, of that group, and we'll just see how the rest of the week goes. Today's practice, tomorrow's practice, all the way up until Sunday.
Safid.
Hey, good morning, Flo. See, you've been wearing the vote hat the last couple of days here when you've been meeting with us. Have you encouraged your players to vote early? I know Tuesday's an off day for everybody. I guess where's the team kind of gone in the stance of, making sure that the players, get out and go to vote. And also, I wanted to ask, are the players on the team, are all of them kind of registered? Have you guys kind of worked to help them do that?
Caleb Thornhill handles a lot of that, from that standpoint. I've had, conversations with some of the players about, things of that nature. Those conversations will, obviously stay private. I think there's, just from the conversations I've had, there's, a lot of guys either will or have voted, and I think that's important. I think that's something we should all do, and I'm supportive of that. And but those conversations, they've been had, and I know Caleb does a great job as far as, or has done, or a great job as far as helping guys get registered and give them the information on the different people in the election. I think a lot of people think it's just the presidential election, but there's a lot of other things people were voting for. So just giving them that information and hopefully helping them make educated decisions.
Adam.
Real quick, you were asked about the injuries. Gink, is he out of the protocol or is he still in it?
Yeah, he's out of the protocol.
Cam.
Hey, Flo, Fitz was really good at getting the ball out of his hands quickly. I think he was, 2.41 seconds time to throw. Are you able to gauge from practice where Tua is and his processing speed and helping the O-line out with getting the ball out quickly?
I think there's a lot that goes into whether or not you want the ball out quickly. It's really case by case, team by team, week by week. So, 1 week you may want to hold it a little bit longer, so you can get the ball downfield more. Some other weeks you might want to get it out quickly. I think, in general, you want a mix of all those things. So, Fitz did a good job of that. I think in practice, I think Tua's done a good job of that, but we'll see how it shows up in the game.
Will.
Hey, Flo. Tua mentioned yesterday that one of the reasons he's able to just concentrate on football, not get too caught up in all the narratives about his first start, is the guys in the locker room, the coaching staff. How have you as a coach and the guys in the locker room been able to just allow him to focus on that, not get too caught up in the local and national storylines of his first start?
I think a lot of that has to do with Tua. I think his focus is on, this week and really, not much else. I think he understands that it's not Tua against the Rams, it's the Dolphins against the Rams. And, he's a team guy. I think his teammates are supportive of him, and that's that's kind of the approach we've all taken. And I think he's taking that approach also.
Travis?
Hey, good morning, Coach. NFL Next Gen Stats has the Rams as the most condensed split offense in the NFL, and you guys as the widest split pre-snap offense. I'm curious, what are some advantages of having that widespread offense pre-snap, and what are some challenges of facing an offense that's so condensed in their formations?
I mean, there's challenges to, facing a team that's just defensively, that's, lines up both wide and condensed. I think a lot of it's based on your personnel. So, each team is different. You got different players, different skill sets. I think in some cases, lining up condensed with the guys you have is, may have some more advantages than lining up, wide. I think, having a mix of both is always good, just so your opponent's not, locked in on one or the other. And the Rams do a good job of that. It's not all condensed. They definitely spread it out. And I'm not sure if the Next Gen Stats has, their ability to line up quickly on the ball. I think a lot of they line up quickly. That's why they're condensed, because they get to the ball and snap it quickly. Because you got to go out wide. It takes a little bit more time. I'm not sure if the Next Gen Stats sees all that. But yeah, there's advantages to lining up tight. I would say one of them is that they can get to the ball quickly and snap it quickly. And there's some advantages to lining up wide. So they do a good job of both.
Al?
Brian, baseball has its share of left-handed pitchers. Why does the NFL not have left-handed quarterbacks outside of yours?
I don't know how. I mean, I really don't know. I don't have an answer for the left-handed folks of the world and why they do or don't play quarterback. I'm sorry, Al, I don't have an answer for that one.
Adam?
Yeah, Flo, I had another question about the election. It's obviously a pretty divisive time in our country. You're one that likes having open dialogue within your team, but also it can lead to some hard feelings, one side on the other. What's that mix there of being open and honest and also respecting each other's beliefs?
I mean, I think you just said it. I mean, I think you got to, be respectful. Have those open dialogues. But I think, personally, I think those dialogues are easier in a team setting where guys know that there's actually, they care for one another. So that's different than two people who don't know each other, having a discussion about some of those topics. I think when you care about somebody and you're willing to listen to hear their side of it and the background in which they came up with their feelings on this topic or that topic, their family situation, how they grew up. I mean, I don't think I think that's a big part of the discussion that I'm not sure is had a lot of the time. So I think in a team setting like this, all those conversations are had. It's not just, let's call it Democrat and Republican. It goes a little bit deeper than that, which is, I think, good, very good.
Omar?
Flo, I want to ask you about Aaron Donald. Obviously, so much attention has to be paid to a guy who's a two-time Defensive Player of the Year. But how much pressure does that put on the other guys who aren't doubling, winning their one-on-ones or holding their own?
Yeah, I mean they have good players, you know, outside of Aaron Donald, a lot of good players. So um, again, it's going to be a team effort. I think yeah, Aaron Donald's a great player. He's very productive, high energy, high intensity, high effort. But you see that from a lot of their guys. So um, obviously, we'll play close attention to him, Aaron Donald. I'm speaking of, but you know, like I've said all week, you know, I think you know Leonard Floyd's playing real good football right now. So is Brockers. So is Jalen Ramsey. You know, you got Johnson, the BC guy back there, playing good ball as well. So it's a tough test, really across the board. They got a good team.
All right, I got one more question. We'll go to Cam.
Had to slide in the BC reference in there, huh?
There's only a few. There's only a few.
I know the over I guess maybe the last 5 years we've heard more about the RPOs, and obviously Tua was really good at those in college. From the defensive perspective, can you maybe explain what pressure the RPO puts on a defense?
I mean, it puts you in conflict. You know, a run player. They're reading basically the run player, and if the run player plays run, they throw a pass. So if the run player plays pass, they run it. So put you in immediate conflict. So I think you know just defensively, you have to you know do a good job of recognizing those sets and adjusting the defense in order to play those schemes. I mean, you know, we really haven't done much of that, you know, this season. So, you know, I think it's a couple of days of practice. It's hard to, you know, put something in like that. So we'll just, you know, if we see them, I know they got a couple of them over there. You know, not too many, but you know, we have to be ready to defend them on a weekly basis. You know, I think they show up every week in this league in some form or fashion. So